You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. How we doing? How we doing? To the American people, I say, don't get duped. Don't get duped, American people. We're talking about Kamala Harris has somehow been appointed and been chosen, but don't be duped. Folks, this is America. This is the United States of America. The United States of America today is facing tremendous crisis all around the globe. This is not a laughing matter. This is not a joking of fun. We are in a crisis situation as it goes to multiple countries. We are in a crisis situation in our supply chain system. We are in a crisis situation as we move forward in our banking system, as leverages and things have been taken away. America, we must do what's right. And to the African Americans, we must not be duped. To the black men, the African Americans who are working and providing for their families, do not be duped. To the United States military, to the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, we understand the tremendous pressure that you are facing. Now is not the time to be duped. I understand that at crisis times when things happen, as President Joe Biden was unable to continue. But we cannot make mistakes that cost the country, and the country is in a crisis. I say this to you to avoid you as African Americans. As the money flows for Kamala Harris, there is no chance of winning. There is no chance of winning. Don't be duped. As you look at Kamala Harris here, and I'll share this with you. One of the things you must understand, there is situations there that must be changed, and we don't know how to get there. But at the same time, this is not the answer. And I say it to you clearly because in America, we are in a crisis. And when you listen and hear to what Harris has to say as we are in this crisis, okay, what has happened over the history? What can we do to change it? This is America, the land of...
I have many clients in that matter, so I cannot talk with you about what we're doing in terms of the case. My personal opinion on the death penalty has not changed. I'm personally not in favor of the death penalty, but I will follow the law as we've been doing.
In the meantime, death row...
So as you could see, Kamala Harris is not in favor of the death penalty. I will tell you this, folks. In the crisis we're in, and the country, and the protecting of this country, this is not a time of popularity. This is not a time where you just get an opportunity as an African American to not understand the policies, the position that America is in. We are in a crisis. And I understand the popularity, and I understand as we have had Obama for the president of the United States, and Obama served an 8-year term. And as you know, Trump was the president, and Biden came back and had a 4-year term. We don't throw people in the White House just to do it. There must be a purpose and a plan. And when I look at Kamala Harris, I have challenges because you were District Attorney, San Francisco, Senator, California, San Francisco, California, and Oakland, California, where she is from, is in shambles, and there's been no attention at all. Don't be duped. This is an attempt to get your money. This is no victory that can come from you. And it will come from many, many, many angles. It will come to you, and you must be prepared and see it, because this is something you cannot win. The country is in a crisis, and we are looking for popularity, and they are asking you to spend your money when you have no chance of winning. And I can walk through the list of individuals who are telling you there's chance. And I like Roland Martin. I don't have anything against Roland Martin, but here Roland Martin has been in this environment for a long, long time. And when I see Roland Martin, I see what he's saying. Roland Martin, you've seen it all. There's nothing I can tell Roland Martin. There's nothing I could give Roland Martin in this space. He has been a champion of it. He has battled against everybody. But when you come to the president of the United States, I will tell you, even though he won, This situation is more appropriate when Ross Perot said it to Bill Clinton. This what should be said to Kamala Harris. Running California is like a supermarket compared to running the United States of America. And with the crisis, the corona, the retail market, the loss of jobs, the positioning of AI, this country is going into a disaster. And it only can be relieved one way. This is not something popularity. This is not something if you're of color. This is a crisis. And you must understand, don't be duped. I bring this to you because the duping is going on at a tremendous pace. And when you get it duped and you got the death penalty and you're afraid or don't support it, I tell you this, men and women in the Army, in the Navy, in the Marines, we have forces that are in recon. Men, women will die. This is not a death penalty. This is the America of the United States. And as we climb forward, there are negotiations. There are situations that she has not been in. When it came to Taiwan, they sent Nancy Pelosi. They did not send her. And Pelosi set off a fire bell that's still ringing with China and its Navy. We are under pressure. We are under tremendous pressure. This is no time for America to do a popularity contest. As you look at it today, and I tell you this, please understand that this is not a game, but America, the people, the leaders are playing it as a game. Listen, folks, this is not a game. And I say this with an open heart and a clear mind.
Because let me tell you something right now. Roe v. Wade, I mean, how that was overturned, you're Kamala Harris and taking the positions like you just articulated. You should have an abundance of women supporting Kamala Harris. No question about it. Black folks definitely going to support Kamala Harris.
That's false, folks. That's false. That's false, and that's false. Black African-American men, we are not in that position. We are not in that position. And with Stephen A. Smith, as he goes from ring to ring, from side to side, he throws his hand in any popularity contest. 2 minutes ago, he was over there for Trump. 2 more minutes later, he's over here for Kamala. Folks, they're duping you out your money. They're taking your money. You're making donations for something you cannot win. This is considered a Hail Mary, and a Hail Mary is not coming. This is something I did not expect, but this is how they separate African Americans from your money, to tell you this what can do. And listen to this. This is not a game.
You know this much. So I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at this as a huge fight because to me, she has a legitimate chance if she goes after him and doesn't hesitate in doing so.
But wait a minute, you just said that you don't know if the enthusiasm about her is because of her or because
I don't care.
Did you hear that, folks? He doesn't care. You see, this is what's going on in America, and I'm bringing it to you as a reaction video. This is a reaction to American people that you have somebody who's sitting here who is going to tell you, don't use your conscious mind or your conscious brain. Do something that you have not thought about out of a pure reaction. This man doesn't stand for anything. He went over there and said the American people should vote for Trump. Now Joe drops out, well, American people should vote for Kamala. You know what? I've had enough. And for Stephen A. to be on there using profanity, cussing people out, no respect for women empowerment, no respect for black women at all, but to sit here and act like you are lifting up a black woman, and just like McNutt told you on ESPN, you could have done this 3 years ago, but you didn't. This is fake, phony, and they collecting your money, folks. Don't be duped in this environment.
That's the whole point. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. And she is, by all indication, she has stolen all of the momentum from the Republican Party. 30,000 people that have never volunteered for a presidential campaign have volunteered to work on this campaign.
Folks, there's no get luck quick scheme. Okay, there's no lottery coming. We're going into a crisis. When it comes time for the polls, when it comes time for people to vote, you may see the National Guard at the polls. This is not a game. A win is not a win. And for African Americans to fall out of intelligence, and this is where it gets confusing for me, because I stand in this country and I look at it and I've seen it and I've watched it over the years. And folks, I've went through Richard Nixon. I'm 60 years old. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I've been through Ronald Reagan. Okay, I've been through George Bush. Okay, and I've been through his son Bush as well in the administration. I have seen what happens in these parties, and I will tell you this, somebody has to protect the country. This is not a game that you are playing with people's lives, and men and women will die. So if you're not strong enough to support a death penalty when an officer is killed in the line of duty, KIA, killed in action, then you're not ready as the decisions you will have to make for the men and women in the United States Armed Forces. And this is not a popularity contest, and this is not a piece of bubble gum. This is serious business, and they're treating it as if it's a game. This is so amazing to me. I have not seen it.
Listen, I love her chances. I got to admit to you, because let me tell you something right now. Roe v. Wade, I mean, how that was overturned, you're Kamala Harris and taking the positions like you just articulated. You should have an abundance of women supporting Kamala Harris. No question about it. Black folks definitely going to support Kamala Harris. We know.
And that's false, folks. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We stand on what we speak. That is not the case. That is not the case. They do this every time, and there's always some slick underlining to get you to believe that that is the majority of the thought of African Americans in America. It is not. It is not. And don't be duped, because that's the plan. When you give and donate your money, when there's 30,000 volunteers, line them up and let's see them, because they got to get there. This is not a game. This is the United States of America. We are in a crisis. My name is Money Mike. I'm Mike Walker. I stand on it. I believe in it. And I've been in America for 60 plus years. And I've followed each and every one. And this is the kicker, folks. And I'm going to let you in on what they believe, because what they believe is different. You got China and Mexico removing sanctions. I say to you, China and Mexico are removing sanctions. That is not in preparation of Kamala Harris. I tell you, Kamala Harris, they're not preparing. They understand the direction the United States of America is going. And one thing I do know, these countries know they must pay their bills. They must pay their bills. We must get the supply chain back. We must get the resources, and we must have a unilateral United Nations that all works together. We are in a crisis. Our banking system is in a crisis. Our military is in a crisis. And we stand to go on a popularity vote. Folks, I tell you this, don't be duped and don't be fooled. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast.